These stories are about my reluctant and, I dare say, courageous journey into understanding and identifying my emotions and what I've learned. I'm super grateful for the questions you ask because they are helping guide me on this fantastic adventure. This week's topic came from Danica, who wanted to know how to be an innovator. So, this week's topic is about how mistakes are the secret weapon to innovation. In the previous video, I talked about how I got through a time when I really believed I made a mistake and I thought it was the worst thing ever. In this video, I'm going to talk about a time I made a mistake and I realized I could innovate. I'm still thinking on what that is. In the next video, I'm focusing on a time I got excited about making mistakes because I knew I would be able to innovate. In the following video, we'll meditate, and in the last video, it's called the Fridity, or I lovingly call it the Fridity, or the Friday Ditty, where I get a little poetic and a little nerdy, and I talk about how it all came together. All these videos will appear in the playlist, Mistakes, a Secret Weapon of Innovation. So, if you have a question, like Danica did, comment below or DM me on Instagram. I'm Angela, and this is me making sense of myself. The question I'm starting with today is, when was a time you made a mistake and found a way to innovate? The, I I think I am going to go with the time we forgot to put water in the turkey. Um, and I think that it was interesting because that clearly was a mistake. And I had questioned, did we put water in the bottom of the turkey pan because it needed it? And the answer that I got was yeah, yeah, we put water in the bottom of the turkey pan. And the reality was we didn't find out until later that we didn't. But on this particular day, it was a Thanksgiving, that the perspective that we came in with was whatever happens is going to be perfect and we're just going to be surprised. And then I can't remember, I feel like we did something else with the potatoes, and but anyway, nevertheless, the interesting thing was these were mistakes that we didn't, you know, I thought maybe we made a mistake. In the end of the day, I was right, but there's no need for me to brag about that because what happened was the turkey actually turned out the best it had ever turned out because we had slathered it in more butter than we normally slather it in. So I don't know, maybe adding the water would have been a really, really bad idea because there was so much butter. But then the gravy turned out amazing. Like, we got so many compliments that year on the food. It was really comical. So, you know, we when we saw, especially when we saw the dripping or whatever you want to call that in the bottom of the turkey pan, I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if we should make gravy with that." And I thought, well, we're just doing stuff and being surprised today. So I'm going to try it because I really don't know what's going to happen. So we did, and it was amazing. Like, to die for amazing. And I think because we were willing to try new things, that helped us learn that next time we didn't have to cook it the old way. We could do this new way. So I think maybe part of, like, these mistakes brought us gifts of innovation that we weren't even aware of that we were going to find in the beginning. What kind of effort did you need to put in so that you could innovate? I think the effort was being willing to totally fail at the outcome. And if we weren't totally willing to fail at the outcome, well, I don't know, actually, now that I'm thinking about that, because I don't think being willing to try, I think, might be the important part. And that it might fail. That it, like, that Oh, the gravy, for instance, because we had already put the turkey in, we didn't know. I mean, this is much later in the process, so, the turkey looked great when we got it out, and then wondering about the gravy, I think that was being willing to try actually was the effort, being willing to do even though we weren't sure if it was gonna turn out great, and that was really cool. So I think that the next question is, why does it matter that you innovate? And I think that it matters again will happen and you can innovate. I think there's a certain amount for me, a certain amount of freedom in that because so many times mistakes happen without or things happen that feel like blocks in the road. And I forget that, these are important roadblocks or challenges to overcome. Like if I were to you guys, I don't know if I'm going to use the right words, but I'm thinking, turn it into a game. I want to level up. So I've got to overcome these challenges. I'm not a gamer because my hands don't work right. So gaming is next to impossible. It is impossible. But unless it's like a one finger thing, then it's not impossible. Again, there's probably some way to innovate that, or there might be some tools that I might not be aware of. And I'd have to be willing to go practice and fail and get better and better, just like anybody does who plays games. The nice thing about games, though, is they make it just hard enough that most people can still get the shots of dopamine and whatever other chemicals that keep them going. So I think that knowing what's possible, that mistakes will happen and I can innovate means that I have that freedom to make mistakes and keep going. Like I can have a cosmic goal, if you will, and know that I'm just going to keep traveling that path. And that's the most important because the exciting things happen in the journey. Accomplishing them is great, but how much do we learn about ourselves? I learned so much about myself on the journey that by the time I get to the accomplishment, I'm almost sad that I've accomplished, because it's like, what now? What's the next thing? Which is really exciting. So I think that because I can have that insight right now, that's really helpful. I would love to hear from you. How might your mistakes lead to innovation? These videos will be located in the playlist Mistakes, the Secret Weapon of Innovation. I'm Angela, and this is me making sense of myself.